It's a beautiful night here in Bradenton, and Pirates Spring Training Baseball is presented by McDonald's. You know, it's getting a little closer to the games that begin to matter. Night baseball here in spring training, so park it right there. Tonight we have for you the Pirates and the Twins here from Lecom Park. And yes, it's a promise. Opening day just a week away in Boston. And welcome into the booth. Joe Block and Bob Walk with you here tonight. Pirates back in action after what has been a very strong spring training for them. And individually speaking, we're always looking at who's going to make the roster. Well, I think one guy's pretty much firmed up his case. Adam Frazier's been lights out so far this spring training.
Well, that's for sure. And we're going to be looking for some more offense. We know that Jung Ho is not going to be here when the season starts. Don't know when he's going to get here. So who's going to provide that extra little bit of offense that we're going to be missing because he's not in the lineup? Well, Frazier's going to be a part of that answer. Now, we saw him hit the home run there. He's really not a power guy, so he probably won't be replacing the home runs all that often that you're missing from Jung Ho. But he is a guy that runs the bases in an excellent fashion, can steal bases, will always be in position to take that extra one. He's going to be an average hitter. Last year he hit over 300, so I think he's going to really be a run scorer for us.
Yeah, he's hit righties, lefties. He's hit major leaguers, minor leaguers all throughout spring training. He'll be in there today as the Bucs will have a pretty good lineup against these visitors from Minnesota, Pirates and the Twins, coming up in just a bit right here on Root Sports. One of the beautiful parts of spring training, autographs and proximity to the players. A good night for baseball. Pirates of the Twins here from Lecom Park tonight, and Ivan Nova will get the nod, and excited to see him as he gets set. He'll be starting the home opener at PNC Park a little bit later on in just over a week. And for the visitors from Minnesota, Shuck, Santana, and Paulson trying to find some roster spots ahead of Miguel Sano, who will be the third baseman this year. Jason Castro's their catcher. Byung-Ho Park trying to get back on the roster. And Eduardo Escobar, the shortstop Tommy Field, and then Benji Gonzalez, who is a very familiar to this ballpark, longtime marauder of Bradenton.
There you see Nova's numbers for spring training. I kind of like they were last year during the regular season as a Pirate. Doesn't like to walk anybody.
Marte tested early.
Yeah, that was a pretty good tester right there. Deep. He did a nice job with the over-the-shoulder grab.
Well, Starling Marte is going to be in center field for the Pirates this year.
Throw strikes, use the defense. Even if it gets everybody to the edge of the seat for a moment.
A long, loud out is just that, an out. And you're right, Bob. I mean, that's what's been so fun about watching Ivan Nova in his time with the Pirates, is he's not afraid to challenge anybody.
No, I mean, there's some situations where he'll get later in a game, and you know, if it's a close one-run game, he might have to be a little more fine with what he's doing. But it just like now, it's the first inning. There's nobody on. Throw strikes. Let him hit the ball. Maybe they'll hit it at somebody. You can get a couple of quick outs, and that's what's happened here.
And the guys that they're going to try to hit him toward the Honda defense for the Pirates today, and Marte in center with Alan Hansen out in left, Andrew McCutchen, the right fielder, with Josh Harrison getting a start at third, Jordy Mercer, Adam Frazier at second, Freeze over to first base, Jacob Stallings doing the catching, and yeah, Jay, of course, over in short right at the moment with the shift on, but he'll be playing some third base, at least here in the early going, without Jung Ho Gung, at least as we know it, unavailable to begin the season. And judging by this, I mean, third base, I mean, I guess that constitutes short right field just about anywhere. So David Freese will likely open up as the third baseman. And maybe just to get Frazier's bat in there, we'll see Harrison at third every now and then.
A nice change up. Swung on and missed, but that's not necessarily what Nova's plan was there. He probably wanted that ball to be put in play. Just softly and get the out and get the dugout.
Long at bat here. Here's the fourth pitch upcoming. Should have been strike three.
Could have been. Didn't get the call.
That's why he wants it put in play. The umpires can't decide that, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Well,
looked like a strike to me.
Yeah,
they all look like strikes to me.
Yeah, that. I would think so. Ben Paulson, the ex-Rocky, trying to hook on with the Twins. They still got 41 guys in camp. Spring training a week from today. I should say opening day is a week from today. That is the second baseman, Frazier.
To the bats.
A very quick 1-2-3 inning. Trademark for Ivan Nova. Just a nice night here, as you know, in an effort to try to get ready for the regular season, you know, and play some night games. Here's the Pirates RAV4 lineup tonight, as Adam Frazier will lead things off. Josh Harrison at third base, and then Andrew McCutchen, the right fielder. Starling Marte cleans up. David Freese swings over to first. Jordy Mercer, then Alan Hansen, who has hit very well throughout the spring. Number 7 hitter tonight. We talked about Adam Frazier, though, and he'll face Phil Hughes tonight.
That's Hughes' spring training numbers. They really took a beating in his last outing. A couple innings and gave up about 6 runs. Not good, but spring training, who cares?
Well, he's got a spot. He's going to be their number 4 starter, so I guess you just say, what, you're fine-tuning.
Yeah.
Out to right and deep.
Maybe.
And
maybe.
This one is gone. Adam Frazier with a leadoff home run. He is tearing up the Grapefruit League. This guy can hit, folks. Well, like you said, Bob, he's not going to replace Jung Ho Kang's power. well, but I'm teasing with you. But this is unusual, but he's got a little bit every now and then.
He can hit. He's got some pop in his bat. He's going to hit a home run every now and again. And this one here, maybe a little bit of a spring training home run to it. A little breeze blowing that way. And I almost take every home run down here with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I was curious myself, but it did get guided out there. Harrison trying the same thing.
And foul.
Home run distance, but foul. But, you know, Frazier coming into last year when he got called up, he had hit 3 home runs in his 3.5 minor league season. So not known for it, but he's shown that, a little pull power every now and then.
Yeah, we'll run into one occasionally. But his job's to get on base and have someone knock him in, score the run. Not knock himself in.
Already he's done that 3 times, though, this spring. Has Frazier, whose average goes back up above 400, where it's resided most of the exhibition season. And it hits Harrison. Well, the Pirates trying to stay as healthy as possible here in the final week of spring training.
Now you get a home run, then followed up with a foul ball home run, and then you maybe just try to throw one up and in a little.
I got him in the meaty part of the arm.
I got him right on the Jolly Roger logo. Smacked Roger right on the nose.
I'll be wearing 2 eye patches before you know it. So Harrison on at first. Andrew McCutchen in that familiar 3 spot.
Those 2 guys will always be able to tell the story how they were a member of the first USA team to ever win the World Baseball Classic.
Part of Jim Leland's group. So you and Kutch and Jay Hay share that, being able to play for Jim Leland, and those guys are really talking with great reverence for Leland.
Yeah, I talked with Jay Hay just had a couple moments in the clubhouse earlier, and I asked him about that, and he said, "Oh man, just great guy." He says, "You go out, you do your job. He leaves you alone. Just play baseball and play hard. That's all he asks."
This one smacked deep. Shuck going back, and
gone.
It's over the wall. A home run for McCutchen. That part just over the lower wall gives it a home run, and McCutchen welcoming himself back to the action with his first Grapefruit League home run.
Well, I guess there's a question mark with Jung Ho out. Is it going to really be a tough thing to score runs without power? Well, there's guys in the lineup that can get the ball over the fence still. And of course, Kutch is one of those. A little bit of a rough year with the bat last season as far as his standards concerned, but he will have a better year. And one of those things is probably going to be the home runs will be up there a little bit.
Well, he had 24 last year, so
it'd be upper 20s this year, 27-ish, 28. I think that'd be a realistic number for expectations.
Let's watch Marte run. And a good play by Tommy Field, living up to his name to get Marte.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be a contest.
Well, maybe spring training kind of not.
Field showed me something there.
Regular year, I think maybe Marte's burning it down the line. He still gets down there. If that's a jog for Marte, a lot of guys would take that, right?
Yeah.
And he's busted it.
Yeah,
about 85% for him.
Yeah, he maybe wasn't going at 99.9, but.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody really needs to run that hard this close to the season.
Well, that's what Chris Stewart got that groin concern.
That's why it's better to do, what like Kutch and Frazier, just hit the ball over the fence and jog. So that's a much smarter play, I think, than trying to beat out choppers.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, just hit it over the fence.
So far, it's been easy. Frazier and McCutchen with home runs here in the first. And speaking of Chris Stewart, our Allegheny Health Network injury update, and some light throwing today, some groin discomfort. Still thinks he's probable for opening day, but at this point, hey, don't.
If it keeps going okay, he'll be able to use the regular weight balls. So just threw the light ones today, like ping pong balls.
Ball, okay, and then you move up to a wiffle ball, right? Then maybe those stuffed balls that. And then the real
you'll see when they put regular throwing there. That's your Rawlings ball that comes in the red box. Tissue paper.
Actual stitches, not rubber. David Freese working over at first base tonight. He'll probably open in Boston at third, but will play some first base as he did last season. And Escobar will record the second out. Now the Pirates still don't know when they're going to get Jung Ho Kang back. So good insurance policy in Freese, who signed that 2-year extension midway through last year. And so Clint Hurdle has some options. We're seeing Harrison start at third tonight. So, Frazier's played some third base. So there are some guys that are going to be able to play there.
Yeah, Twins should sell naming rights to this infield. They have a field and a park right out there at the corners.
Well done.
Field and park.
Tommy at third and Byung-ho at first, and Mercer, the batter. All they need is a guy named Hurler out there or something, right?
A couple days, Pirates will be in a stadium.
Olympic Stadium in Montreal.
Don't play in many stadiums anymore.
Yeah, they're all parks and fields, right?
Yeah.
I guess the George Carlin skit ended up
paying off.
Coming to reality. Oh, he's going to test field again, but he made that look easy.
Yeah. Threw it across the diamond. Not the gridiron.
3-0 Buccos. McCutchen with one of the 2 home runs for the Buccos in the first. Adam Frazier the other. And how about a 3-0 lead for Ivan Nova? A couple of spring long balls to get things started. After a 10-pitch 1-2-3 first inning. Sano's got plenty of power, and he'll get the Twins on the board. Long homer for Sano, who's trying to figure it out this spring, but he's one of the talented, very good talented young hitters in baseball.
Well, that was a mistake pitch by Nova. You know, he wants to throw strikes and get early outs, but when you get to 0-2, especially when you're throwing a breaking ball on 0-2, needs to be a little bit better spot than right down the middle.
And Sano, who's has yet to kind of realize the big hype against him, he still has shown a lot of power. He hit 25 home runs in about 3/4 of his season last year. Jason Castro quickly retired. Well, Nova just picks up where he left off.
Yeah, it's not like it's going to affect him, you know, as far as what he's going to do. He's just going to, well, before the ball even hit the stands, in his mind, he's sitting there thinking, okay, I threw a pitch in a bad spot. I can't make that mistake. And he'll just turn the page and move on about it.
Well, just come right back in with the first pitch strike. Now, I was talking to Tyler Glasnow today about Nova's influence. And Glasnow, of course, one of the young starters here. Park, who also has that good power, finds the base hit. But Glasnow was talking about how Nova and even Tyone, to a degree, you know, influencing him just by the way that they pitch.
Well, by example.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of showing the way. If you start watching over and over again, you're like, wow, they're making it look easy. They're not, you know, max effort guys. They're pitching. They're adding a little bit, subtracting, throwing strikes. Of course, Tyone, he can go upper 90s occasionally, and he's a little extra weapon. And Nova can still get it up there pretty good too, into, you know, the 94, 95 range. He just doesn't do it very often. He kind of is more like just back off and throw strikes, and if I have to reach back, I will.
That fan lost his cap and he got the baseball back. That's a classy move by Jeff Smith over there at first base.
And then there's Cole, who just has got the combination of the great fastball that he throws almost all the time, velocity wise, and very good control. What a package of talent that he possesses.
And that's what, no, you got to see this first.
Keep your eye on it. There you go.
Wasn't ready for the ricochet. I don't blame him.
You can't catch that ricochet.
Brought his glove. He did everything right.
Yeah. He's got the baseball. And a story. Wow. That one fell off the table.
First strikeout for Ivan Nova. Yep. Glasses are intact.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I planned on doing it.
Get that glove back on. You get another shot. Might get 2 balls tonight. Got one. It's still real early.
And he's got plenty of pens in there for somebody.
Yeah, for autographs. Yeah. I brought a pen today, see?
Mine doesn't write, though.
Yours is a stylist. Isn't that what they call it, a stylist?
I think so.
A stylist. Show everybody what it writes on.
Writes on one of these things.
Yeah, look at that.
But I just started using it this year, so I forget to. I try to write down a note on paper, and then it doesn't do
I don't really know if mine works or not, because I don't ever write on anything.
You didn't number your lineup tonight?
No, I didn't have
9?
to read it. That's the only one I have to read it.
Oh, okay.
I bring a pen for one reason.
Show?
irritate Pete.
Oh. Our director Pete Tillman. Yeah, you want to click it all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever catch yourself doing that?
No, but he does.
Okay. Well, this one doesn't click either, so
it's useless.
I don't even know why I have it, to be honest. I should just use my finger.
It's like all modern stuff. It's like it has no character. You know, there's no character.
Yeah. Highlighters have character, right?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
You talk about character.
There's two characters right there.
Rob King's hiding in the background too.
Yeah. Oh, I see Rob there. Right. He's back there talking to Mel.
I'll check the radio engineer for most of the games down here.
Looks a little plain over there today, doesn't it?
Yeah. Hey, he gets the call.
Couple of good curveballs for strikeouts from Nova.
He's got a 3-1 lead. Pirates spring training baseball presented by McDonald's. Pirates, a couple of home runs by Frazier and McCutchen. Got a 3-1 lead, and Alan Hansen, probably our most talked about guy throughout spring training in terms of will he make it? Will he be standing on those chalk lines at Fenway Park 1 week from today?
Okay, an interesting case. At one time, one of our bigger prospects, and that kind of started to fade a little bit over the last season, maybe two. And when spring training started, everyone knew that he was out of options. And now he's had a very strong spring, looked good, and so it's like, well, this is going to be a interesting decision.
He's been getting extra time in the outfield, normally an infielder. And while everything hasn't been always super smooth out there, he has shown a good arm out there. He's thrown out, I've seen 3 guys he's thrown out on the bases from the outfield. So there can be a case made that, you know, will he be able to play multiple positions effectively?
I don't think there's ever been any question that physically he can play in the big leagues. He really is always impressed with his speed, arm strength, all of that sort of thing. Occasionally the concentration level has slipped, and that's kind of cost him.
So he strikes out here to start the second. And the only way to lock in seats to all the big games at PNC Park, that's with a Pirates season ticket membership. You get year-round access to exclusive events and experiences, full season, half season, or 20-game membership, and all the experiences and games that best fit you and your schedule. You get to select those. So find out more at pirates.com/membership. Jacob Stallings still in camp, helping out with the catching duties. Had his first cup of coffee in the major leagues last year.
Having another good spring training. Played well in the month of March last season. Opened some eyes up. Got that cup of coffee.
And for Clint Hurdle, you know, it just proves, I mean, the Pirates needed 6 catchers last year. Stallings, I think, has put himself on the map that, you know, if they need his services, no question Elias Diaz will be the first guy called upon, but I think Stallings would be the next one based on what he did last season. You know, and with Stewart being banged up, and, you know, he's still thinking he's likely available for opening day. And, you know, it just, I mean, at any point, and Cervelli missed some time earlier this spring. You know, catchers can always, at a moment's notice, go like that. You need to have some good catchers, and Pirates do have some depth there.
Always a tough position though to fill when you have injuries.
And the Pirates had to get some guys from outside the organization last year. Eric Kratz and Eric Fryer, who has made the Cardinals as a backup to Molina.
A couple of years ago, it seemed like we went through a dozen.
Was that 08, I think? With
yeah, it's when McHenry, he was the final guy that actually got the job and took it to the end of the season. But man, for a while there, I'm exaggerating a dozen. I can't remember how it was, but every time you got somebody back there, they were hurt.
Let's see if this one has eyes. It does. Jacob Stallings, a 1-out single. Now the new Papa with a base hit. Mom and son doing well back home. Also gives Nova a chance to lay down a bunt here. Did you like working on that in spring training, hitting?
Yeah, I always loved to hit, no matter when. Somebody came up with a game in November, I would have went down and hit. Not that I was good at it, but I enjoyed it.
Well, Nova is.
I tell you couldn't have done a better job with that bunt. That's what you're supposed to do, is make that first baseman who's holding the runner on, make him come in and field the ball. And they have no chance then at throwing anybody out at second. Beautifully done. I mean, this is absolutely textbook right there. That's just like you do it 1,000 times in spring training when you practice and they're lobbing it into you. The tough part is when there's somebody that's not lobbing it into you to be able to do that.
Well, nice to see with Nova, who spent his entire career in the American League, and even as a minor leaguer, if you play for an American League team, you don't bat. So I mean, he never batted really, except for interleague play.
Well, we saw when Liriano first came over here, it was like he couldn't foul a ball off. And then by the time he left, he was one of the better hitting pitchers we had on the team, hitting home runs and stuff.
Hitting over 300.
Yeah. So it's and at first it didn't look like he was going to be able to do that. You saw nothing for a while, and then after he had been here a couple seasons, all of a sudden he started hitting. And I asked him what had happened. And they said, well, they asked me to work on it. And said, you know, he basically just, this is important. You have to be able to do it. You got to put some effort and work on it. We know you probably are not going to be good enough to play center field next year, but you can get better than you are. And in Liriano's instance, I mean, he got very good.
Jeff Branson, Jeff Livesey, the hitting coaches, I mean, they work with the pitchers. They take batting practice regularly. This is not a cameo appearance. There's a 2-out hit for Frazier, and they'll send Stallings, and he is going to be in. He scored ahead of the tag. The run counts, and a 2-out RBI hit from Adam Frazier. gives the Pirates another run. It's with a 4-1 lead as we start the third inning, and we are very pleased to have a special guest on with us here tonight, Garrett Cole. And you got the headset on. It looks good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on tonight. How's spring been going for you?
It's been going quite nice. We've had beautiful weather. Everybody's healthy, and we got the guys back from the WBC, so good vibes.
Big difference with you personally from last year. You were kind of behind everyone else when spring training started, and it never seemed like you got caught up. And really that kind of set the tone for your season. This year, you look like you're in mid-season form out there.
Well, thank you for that. I feel good, feel strong. I'm just trying to keep up with everybody else. You know, we're looking to get out of the gates well here, so just trying to get prepared.
And you're a married man now, so I'm sure that has something to do with it, right?
Yes, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We got married in November, and we went on a wonderful honeymoon and had a great time.
Now, are you looking at this season? I mean, for opening day, I'm just curious. You would have probably had that opportunity last year. Is this a kind of a big deal, your first opening day start?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty special. It's, you know, there's only one guy that can start it, and the manager has to pick it. So, in that sense, you know, very honored to have the opportunity. But, you know, like I've said before in camp, you know, the first game of the year means just as much as the dog days in August and a getaway day, you know. So every win counts, every game counts. So we're just going to try to approach it the same way we would approach any game.
Any extra? Because when you were a little kid, you were a Yankee fan, right? So you get to play the Red Sox?
I think anytime.
Stick it to them, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think we'd like to ideally stick it to everybody that comes in the other side of the field. But, no, I mean, anytime you get to play in a historic park with, you know, really great fans, everybody really likes to take advantage of that and soak it in. So,
Gary, you're relatively still pretty young, but at the same time, you've really kind of taken on a leadership role in this clubhouse, haven't you? Is that something that you kind of strove for, or did it just happen?
You know, it's just kind of evolved and happened over the years. You know, we have quite a bit of turnover here sometimes, and you know, I'm in a position where I can maybe help out some of the younger guys who are transitioning into this new role. So, and it can be tough. You know, it's not easy up here. So, you know, any bit of information, you know, can help. You know, sometimes maybe just an ear to listen.
You're kind of a rare combination of a power guy, a guy that can, I mean, brings it up there in the upper 90s and has great command, great control of your pitches. So you don't see that very often. Do you try to, you know, maybe like to talk to Glass now a little bit about what you've gone through to be that type of pitcher and try to push him in that direction?
Yeah, well, I mean, Tyler knows the keys to what he's got to do to be successful. You know, he's got a lot of voices around him, sometimes maybe too much, but you know, he's a real hard worker. He's a good guy. So, you know, everybody progresses at their own pace. You know, I'm not too concerned either way with Tyler. I think he's going to be a real prominent figure in this game sometime soon.
What do you think about the rotation as a whole? I mean, Nova coming back, and then you know, the depth, I think, that we're seeing here from all the different guys that have been starting in spring training.
Well, we have a lot of good arms, that's for sure. You know, we have a lot of well put together guys, both on the field and off the field, which is always a plus. You know, and that's part of the organization's philosophy, to have depth at that position, and you know, that's just a strength league-wide. You want to have depth at the starting rotation, and we certainly have that.
Really a difficult thing to achieve, to find guys that can go out there and in this day and age and give you a good 6-7 innings every night.
Well, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, it probably wasn't easy back then either, but it's sure not easy up here. You know, and we're always striving to try to get better and striving for that consistency. You know, we've laid the groundwork really well, like I said earlier, in spring, you know, from a team perspective, but also as a rotation perspective. Guys have hit their limits, 6 and 100, 7 and 100, whatever that may be. Guys are on track, you know, really past the conditioning phase and really trying to work on fine-tuning stuff. So everybody's in everybody's in a real good position, you know, and that's exciting. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, but we've certainly put ourselves in a good position thus far.
Garrett, what do you think about you know, the work that Ray Searage and Yuki Rojas have done with all the pitchers? Give us a little sense of what their relationship is with those guys and their personalities.
That's a tough question to answer, because I don't feel like we're going to have enough time for me to give them as much praise as they deserve. They're unbelievably positive. They're unbelievably consistent. They have so much knowledge about the game, so much knowledge about each individual player here and the identity that we're trying to have as Pirates. And, you know, to have that consistent positive force in your back pocket all the time is something that, you know, other players on other teams may not have. So it's certainly a blessing to have those guys around. They definitely make us better every day.
I'm going to ask you a question about going over to Pirate City. You guys do that an awful lot, you know, as you're getting your pitch counts up. You've been over there, Nova's over there, Tyone goes over there. Tell the folks at home what takes place over there, and why is it so much better to pitch in that controlled environment at Pirate City as opposed to a game here?
Well, I would say that, you know, there's a lot of things that you can go over there and get out of it. You know, ideally everybody would like to be pitching in this atmosphere. I mean, there's nothing better than it. That's why we do what we do. But for example, you know, it was important to get 7 innings. Last time I was over there, it was important to get to 100 pitches. So when you have those variables that you can control, and it's important to get those things out of it, that can provide a really good opportunity for you to do that. Get that ball. So, you know, and work on PFPs, controlling situations, and working on runners. And, you know, just trying to.
You can really do a lot lot more over there.
Yeah, you can. You can throw yourself in a lot of situations. So.
Well, Garrett, hey, thanks for coming on with us today.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Garrett.
Good luck on Wednesday to Garrett Cole and the Pirates with a 4-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. 4-1 Pirates on our UPMC scoreboard. Home runs tonight by Frazier and McCutchen. Frazier's driven in a pair, as has Kutch. Forget the programs, get your merchandise, right? It's a stand inside the ballpark here. I love it. They got the little souvenir stands. Remember when ballpark? They didn't have a team store. They just had a souvenir stand or two. Josh Harrison cracks a base hit. Plunked with the pitch the first time. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the beauty of spring training, right? Everything's just a little smaller. It's cozier.
In this ballpark.
That's fair. That's fair.
Not necessarily true in like where we were yesterday at what do they call it now? What's Bright House? It's Spectrum up in Clearwater.
It's a cable company locally. Yeah.
I imagine they have a rather large team store there. Maybe they don't, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah, these are some of the newer spring training facilities. You got everything you need here, and it's kept all the charm of this. Let's see, what is this? Probably the 95th season of ball. Here at the corner. Yeah, get your foam fingers with the palm tree on it. Maybe some of those light baseballs that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's for the light throwing right there. That's what they use.
Now McCutchen with a home run his first time. Out to right center. Now we're so interested in seeing him out in right field. I think we haven't talked a lot about how he really got back to being himself at the plate the final couple of months of last season.
Yeah, that's a good point. He did put it together. I would say yeah, last 2 months, month and a half for sure.
Got underneath this one.
He looked like Kutch we've seen forever.
And the numbers show that too, and you kind of gave a glimpse earlier tonight of what he was doing toward the tail end of last season. One getting out of here with Jay Hay aboard. First home run in the Grapefruit League. We haven't seen a lot of McCutchen, of course, as he was over the World Baseball Classic. So,
that's what I told you earlier. I was talking to Jay. He looks lighter this year, doesn't he? I wonder if he's going to run more. Of course, he runs all the time as it is, but just I don't know. Just talking to him, it looked like he wasn't, not a great deal lighter, but just looked thinner.
Yeah. More svelte.
Yeah.
Well, 19 swipes last year. Yeah, maybe he'll get that up there. Starling Marte led the club with 47. And that was after missing most of the final month of the season. Well, the Pirates have a nice balance of speed. You talked about, this is an offense that's going to try to get aboard, get on base, get on base, get on base. But there are some guys, and Marte, I think you could throw in the mix too, even though he only hit 9 last year. He can hit some home runs.
What, he hit 19 the year before?
Tough to double him up, but
wow, how about that?
Wow.
And thrown out on a chopper and bounced into a double play.
Regular season, I think he's going to get on both times, though. On our UPMC scoreboard, Pirates 4, Twins 1. Long balls accounting for most of the scoring here tonight. We are a week away from opening day. Spring training winding down here in Florida. It's been a good one for the Pirates. I mean, you know, the records don't really matter that much, but to a man, everybody feels a little better when you have a successful spring. Jason Castro, who will be the starting catcher for the Twins. Now, the Twins took a step back last year. They had the largest slide of any team in terms of wins and losses. And Paul Molitor's group, that first year for Molitor almost took him to the postseason, which surprised everybody in baseball. They were probably the biggest surprise, and then last year were probably much more of a disappointment. There's Molitor, Hall of Famer, the Igniter.
Well, they were for a couple of decades, I would say. It's a small franchise that just wouldn't quit. I mean, they were there every year. They were somebody that you had to deal with in that American League Central season after season after season after season. Even though they are a small market franchise, they figured out how to do it. They were kind of like the example that everybody would talk about. Well, you know, Minnesota, I think they only had, what, 2 managers in about 30 years.
Well, yeah, Tom Kelly and Ron Gardenhire. And
I mean, they were a very steady franchise, always moving forward. And then about the time they moved into the new ballpark, things kind of...
Now they're trying to get back.
Start going back and forth for them.
And one of the moves was to hire Molitor, as you saw there. And, you know, it's very rare to see a Hall of Fame player become a manager. And as Nova's got 5 strikeouts now. And 3 of them have been looking tonight. Ooh, late movement.
There was a lot of movement on that 2-seam. That's a pretty good sinker. Even if he would have swung at it, it drove it into the ground at best.
Eduardo Escobar, one of Nova's strikeout victims. Yeah, Nova not a big strikeout guy. What do you have that start? What, I think he had 11 last year in one of his starts, and he was smiling like a Cheshire cat after that, because that's not the kind of game that he's trying to pitch. But, you know, if a team's going to be taking big cuts, he'll toy with them. And it seems like in this spring training, Bob, that he has really just kind of picked up where he left off with the Pirates last season. It seems same style, same approach.
Things are going pretty good in his life right now. You know, he's just signed a nice multi-year contract in a place he likes to be in, and he's pitching well. Got a ton of confidence going for him.
And he strikes out the side. A half dozen strikeouts for Ivan Nova. David Freese will start it off. Pirates spring training baseball presented by McDonald's, and something we haven't seen here in Bradenton yet this spring training, a sunset. This game is in the 29th inning. No, it's a night game tonight. We'll have another one tomorrow. Trying to kind of get ready for the regular year. Freese drives this one, and what a play out there by J.B. Shuck.
A beautiful grab. I'd have to say that was at least as good as that nice catch that Marte made to start the game.
And fighting the sun too.
And with the time change nowadays coming in March and then starting these games at 6 o'clock, you don't really get the effect of the lights yet.
Yeah. They are on here, but they're not going to, like you said, take effect for a while. And it's not the, big league light standards, pun intended. It's, just kind of your local community park lights, but they function enough.
Well, I can't wait to see the new LEDs at PNC Park.
That's right.
They're going to be fantastic.
Yeah, there's some of the features of that could be really interesting because they can turn on and off instantly. And
yeah, the old lights, like the ones here, you turn them on, they got to warm up for a while before they do anything. With the LED, it's just you're just flipping switches and
on off.
It's
on,
like
off.
you're turning off your bathroom light or something.
Yeah.
It will. We saw that word in San Diego.
San Diego, they've got kind of a light show that they do.
They do before the game. It's pretty impressive.
Plus, it saves energy.
And it's greener.
I thought they were whiter. They're whiter and greener.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whiter and greener.
Green and white. I could be onto something there. Alan Hansen struck out back in the second. Now the Pirates are going to have a couple of their final exhibition games when we depart Florida. They're going to play in Montreal. They're going to play the Blue Jays. And, there might be a couple of games in front of 50,000 people where, guys like Alan Hansen might still be competing for a final spot if the Pirates brass hasn't decided yet. I mean, what an environment to show your wares in that final throes of spring training.
Some of those decisions too that we talk about, they've been made. I'm sure they have, but they're waiting to make them official at the time that they decide to make them official.
Yeah, I guess at this point, this is the 29th game. Not to mention all the B games and stuff over at Pirate City in the minor league camps, and I mean they get a lot of at bats. So I guess the Pirates evaluators have seen
a lot of times.
Plenty of
what happens is you fill out your roster, and the last couple are in pencil, and then the first 3 or 4 after that didn't make the team, they're in pencil. So as the spring goes along, those guys get moved around a little bit.
That's going to drop in.
There are certain things that they are looking for from certain pitchers, certain players that they want to see. And if they see that, well, then they don't get their eraser out. And that's kind of the way it goes. And that's why I always take the stats down here with a little grain of salt, because it's just, maybe that's not really what Neil or Clinton are really worried about. I mean, does it really matter if somebody hit 300 or 230 with 50 at bats in March, if they even get 50 at bats?
And who are they against, and at what times? And,
right,
and like you said, what are they doing? Well, you're asking about Hansen, or you're talking about Hansen earlier about better focus because he's got all the physical tools.
Yeah, I mean, is he not making mental mistakes? I mean, that's they know that physically, his baseball skills. They know what they've been watching him for the last 4 years. They know what he can do. But they want to see him cut down on the mental mistakes, and if he does that, if that's what they're saying, they go, well, you know what, he's out of options, and we're going to have to hold on to him. Because we don't want to cut him loose and have him go somewhere else and really be a contributor at the big league level for another team. But that's the kind of stuff they're thinking of right now. Not necessarily what's Hansen's batting average.
Josh Bell on deck. He would bat for Nova. This is the start where the starters kind of back down and pitch a little less. Well, Hansen, now he's got plenty of speed, but we've seen throughout his minor league career, maybe the percentage isn't as high as you'd like. I mean, he's been thrown out a little bit more than a good base stealer would. Maybe that's one of the things they're looking at. But he can sure fly. And he's going. And he is out. Good throw by Jason Castro. That's a cut down to end the inning. The Pirates with a 4-1 lead. And Pirates with a 4-1 lead. Getting a blonde out there to pick up for Ivan Nova tonight. Felipe Rivero.
Another guy having a fine spring.
And a fine hairdo. Is it true they have more fun?
Last season, 74 games, a lot of work.
Tommy Field. And
wow.
Marte navigates the out.
At one point, because we can see we're sitting where we're at, we can see where that ball's coming down. At one point, I'm thinking there's no chance he's going to be anywhere near this ball. And then he made his little turn. Like right about now, we can see that it's way to his right. And he found it somehow, looking back up toward the sun.
Sunglasses on the hat, still able to peer through that evening sunlight.
I want to make it a challenge.
Two-time Gold Glover. You know, the StatCast route efficiency there would be low, but
low, very low. Yeah.
The out was recorded.
Yeah, he looked like he was trying to shake off a all-pro cornerback.
And the center fielder calls off Hansen. Well, Starling Marte among the league leaders last year as we look at our Barrel Automotive league leaders. Again, leading in outfield assists. And this is from left field. So in center field, I wonder how that will factor in this year. But those are outs that end up getting recorded when
I always think it's hard for some of the premier guys to really lead in that category. Because at some point, they stop running on you. The opportunities to throw people out aren't there. I mean, it's not uncommon that you'll look at that list and you'll see somebody with a very mediocre arm pop way up on that. And it's because he's getting a lot of opportunities. He's not known to be able to throw real well, and so guys are trying to take chances on him. And if he's up to the task, he moves up that list.
Well, those 17 assists he had last year were the most for a Pirate since Dave Parker in 1977. So that's a huge number.
Another big arm.
I mean, I think you think of it more from right field than left field where Marte played. But
yeah, right field's where you normally you put your big arm. That's where you. If you look at each team, I don't. 80% of them, probably your best arm is going to be in right field, because that's where you have to make your longest throws, obviously. But other things come into consideration also, and you don't necessarily need to have that rifle arm to play well out there. I think Tony Gwynn, he was a great example of that. He was a fantastic right fielder, and he just had an average arm.
How do you think McCutchen will do in right?
I think he'll do fine out there. I think he'll do a good job with that outfield wall. It'll be interesting to see what kind of changes in the materials that that wall is going to be faced with out in right field.
New scoreboard
wall with the new scoreboard. That he's going to have to go out there early on and figure out the bounces, because it's going to be different. And most likely will not be the same hops coming off that wall that they've been.
And as the Pirates go on the road to different ballparks, a new right fielder will have, a lot of them are pretty standard, but they'll be, I'm interested to see in San Francisco, for instance, and some other spots. But as Neil Huntington has said, Starling Marte is going to cover a lot of ground in those gaps.
I think all your better outfielders, I think, Kutch has been doing this for years. Even though he has been to several of these center fields over and over and over again, when he goes somewhere like, let's say, say San Diego, he goes to Petco Park. He's been at that ballpark many, many times, but that first game out there, batting practice, I guarantee you he's walking around. He's looking, he knows where if there's a sprinkler head anywhere near, where he might have to make a play at, or he's looking back up there during BP, seeing how the balls are coming off the wall, what angles they're taking. You just have to remind yourself, okay, this is what happens here at this ballpark. And the next week you're up in San Francisco and you're looking at something different. So it won't be something that he hasn't done before, even though he's been in center field. He'll be doing kind of the same thing in right, looking at all the nuances of all the different parks.
And with the outfielders changing spots, at least it's the same three guys, and there's a relationship, communication, right? It shouldn't be that much of an issue with guys that know each other and have for a few years, I would think.
Pecking order will be a little different on the balls that have been hit out there. Over the years, when Kutch said, I got it, everybody has to get out of his way. Now, when Marte says, I got it, everybody's going to have to get out of his way. He'll be he's the trump card on the I got it's.
And I bet you instinctively it'll be difficult to remember that once or twice, but probably by now they've already gotten it.
Yeah, they might, come into play once or twice, but it won't be that big a deal. It's really not rocket science when you think about it. When the center fielder calls it, you let him take it. That's it.
Rivero thought that was strike 3.
Wanted it. It looked like a pretty good pitch.
Where was it?
That's inside.
That's where it crosses the front of the plate, though. And
oh, you think it crossed the front of the plate?
Might have still been. Yeah.
That's a strike. That's right down the middle.
That's all you got to do. Clean inning for Felipe Rivero. And there's Pitt head men's basketball coach Kevin Stallings watching his son Jacob in action tonight. Saw him before the game and loving that Jacob's gotten some extended time in the spring. Picked up a base hit for him first time around. Got a little bit of downtime before all the recruiting and everything starts up. Those head coaches don't have a lot of time to themselves, but he was there that night that Jacob registered his first big league hit. Now, it was quite a moment for the Stallings family, and now he's a grandpa.
Know how that feels.
Been an eventful year. And Josh Bell trying to get on track here. He's pinch hitting for Rivero. He started spring training late with that minor knee surgery, and he's healthy. He's ready to go. But I don't know about the games that you've seen, but he's looked out of sync. I mean, we're used to seeing him really.
It was better yesterday.
Was it?
First time up, he turned on a fastball and hit it into the right center field gap for a double, and hit one other ball hard that yesterday that went out into, I think, center field. It was caught for an out, but a couple of really good at bats.
That's good to see.
It'll come around.
Yeah, I tend to believe the same thing. It's not just looking at the numbers or whatever, but what I was so impressed with last year as a rookie, being thrown into the heat of at least at that time, was still a pennant race when he first got called up. His ability to lay off bad pitches, to really drive a ball when it was his pitch. And if it was just off the plate and he didn't want it, he could just spin on it. And I thought that was amazing for a rookie to be able to do that. Haven't seen that as much so far in spring. But like you said yesterday, maybe that's starting to turn the corner.
As long as he doesn't start pressing at all. Yeah, that's another thing that you worry about sometimes with the young guys, that they tend to put a little too much pressure on themselves, and they have a poor couple of weeks, which is all this has been for Bell. A poor couple of weeks because he got started lately. And, you know, an older guy that's been around for a few years, has gone through this stuff before. He just shrugs and says, I know, it's fine. I'll start hitting again.
And he's got the job at first base, but still, he'll technically be a rookie this year, and it'll be his first opening day. And I guess I'd have to imagine that there's at least some anticipation of that when you're a young player. Well, he's worked the count full here.
Really a nice look there with the sun, isn't it?
And look at that. Well, see, there's that eye that we were so impressed with. Narrowly missing and drawing the walk. Hey, opening weekend. We keep talking about it. April 7th, 8th, and 9th at PNC Park. Pirates, Braves. You can take home a Pirates magnetic schedule on opening day. Saturday, fans receive a Francisco Cervelli singing bobblehead. And then Sunday, kids take home a Pirates batting glove. It's all part of opening weekend. Go to pirates.com/opening weekend. Now, that'll be the Pirates home opener. And I keep looking at the long-range forecast. It's looking better and better. It might be in the 50s, which would be very acceptable, maybe even warmer than that. So get out and be a part of all the festivities that day. That's a young one.
Have you looked at
taking
Boston?
In their first
Have you
game.
looked at Boston at all?
Boston will be a little chillier.
It will be.
I'll get one, and Frazier called out on the return. But the Pirates, thanks to Frazier and McCutchen, lead 4-1. And here, still in the exhibition season. Regular games will count soon. Take a look at your calendars. Yeah, a week from today in Boston. It begins for real here. Nice outing from Ivan Nova. Felipe Rivero, a clean inning. Now Tyler Webb.
Yeah, Webb's numbers in minor leagues last year. 82 strikeouts and 72 innings. And just 2 more games in Florida. I'm ready for it.
Now you can see them both here on Root Sports. Tomorrow another night game. 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock for the action tomorrow night, and then day baseball again in the Grapefruit League finale. Then they'll play in the Quebec Junior League for 2 games, or whatever That is, no, just more of the exhibition season in Montreal. Montreal. Did you like going to Montreal when?
Oh, very much.
You played the Expos?
You know, I don't know so much as a player.
But when you had a little more
yeah, as an
time
announcer,
on your hands.
yeah. I don't know. I just kind of enjoyed it a little bit more. As a player, I didn't really like playing in that ballpark. Pitching in that ballpark, I don't think. Maybe because I never really did very well there.
That's probably correlated.
A lot of it.
Marte.
There's a situation we were just discussing where, you know, both players can catch that ball, but Marte now is the trump card.
I got it. Well, Marte is the center fielder.
Yep.
So yeah, there goes McCutchen peeling off.
Just like in the infield, Mercer. He's the guy that everyone has to give way to. The shortstop. If he calls it, everybody gets out of his way.
Now, what if Marte and Mercer converge on a ball?
That's goes the ultimate, the highest trump in the game is center fielder.
All right. So he's
the ultimate card.
What, the left bower, and then there's the right bower for Euchre fans out there. I mean the card game, not Bob. I don't think Euchre's played in Western PA. That was a Michigan thing. Now, what about the catcher?
What about him?
Is it now is the catcher play? Catcher beats the pitcher. What can I beat with the catcher?
You can beat the pitcher. That's it with the catcher. Catcher gives way to everybody else except the pitcher. The pitcher should not ever call the ball off unless it's just about to hit the ground, and then no one else can catch it. Then go ahead. Don't let it fall.
So Webb's like a 2. You don't want a 2.
No, it's catcher. Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah.
So basically, if the third baseman or the first baseman's coming in and they're saying, I got it, the catcher's supposed to get out of the way.
And a pitcher's an ace, but aces are low.
Right. It's kind of it's built around like a little bit of common sense. You know, the player that's got to play in front of him, like the center fielder calling off the shortstop, or the first baseman and the third baseman calling off the catcher, they always seem to have an easier time. So let them make that play. All the pitcher's supposed to do is he's just kind of a traffic cop out there. If he really wants to get involved, which he should, as soon as somebody says, I got it, he needs to start yelling his name and getting everybody else out of there. Like if Jay Hay comes in and says, I got it, then Webb would have to start saying, this Jay Hay, Jay Hay, Jay Hay. And if he sees somebody getting too close physically, you can grab him and pull him away and say, get out of there.
So it's more than just pointing up into the sky on a fly ball?
Yeah, no, I think I was probably a couple of times guilty of pointing up in the sky, but that's why I didn't hear anybody call it. And it's like, hey, I would yell, who's got it? As I would point, like, is somebody going to call this?
Kind of like Tattoo from Fantasy Island, but
yeah,
the ball.
You want to hear somebody right away take charge, and if all you hear is kind of silence and the ball is like starting to make its turn to come back down and nobody has said a word yet, you start to get interested on what's going on back there.
Will I have to take action?
When you're kind of like a mediocre guy, every out is precious, and you don't want any mess ups on an easy one.
Jason Castro hitless in 2 trips tonight. Webb's gotten the first 2. As he tries to make the ball club a Rule 5 pick. Pirates would have to keep him through the entire championship season, and he would have to be active for more than half of it.
It's kind of like being a guy out of options. There's a little bit of similarity there that you got to go. You have to go with the team north, or you're not going to be with the team at all.
Well, he pitches a nice inning, couple of strikeouts. Continuing to state his case. The first batter of the game, or in the bottom of the first, I should say, Adam Frazier with his third spring home run, and then 2 batters later, Andrew McCutchen unloading. 3 batters in, 3 runs across for the Buccos, and they weren't stopping after Sano clearing the wall. Noah settled right back down. Strong outing for him tonight, and then Frazier with his 2nd run batted in tonight. Getting Stallings in. 4-1, and it is pretty much held serve as Hughes going deep into this start tonight. Nova was only supposed to go pretty quick tonight, and that solo home run in 4 innings, 48 pitches for Nova.
He always gets it done quick. Sun just about to set.
Well, the Gulf side of Florida is the sunset side.
Everybody is gathering on the beach right now. Every night they gather out on the beach and watch the sun slip beneath the waves.
And then everyone applauds and then goes home.
Goes home. Yeah.
Hour later, they're asleep. I love it down here. It's very sleepy and family oriented. Plenty of things to do during the day. At night it gets a little quiet, which is nice.
Yeah, it's not like the other side.
Yeah,
it's not like Fort Lauderdale or Daytona or Miami.
A little faster. Plenty of time for Gonzalez to get underneath it. Harrison retired for the first time tonight. Trying to get some at bats. There's that sunset. One of my favorite things to see.
Sunset and a cold beer.
You rank them in whichever order you choose. And McCutchen with that home run back of the first. Now to right center. I think it'll take he and Jay Hay some time at the plate after the World Baseball Classic, or are they pretty much ready to go? I mean, one played more than the other.
I would have thought that, you know, Kutch, he played quite a bit. You know, got a lot of quality swings against good pitching, so I think he'd be a lot closer to being ready than Jay Hay, who didn't get nearly as many plate appearances as Kutch got. You know, I would expect Jay Hay to want to get out there as often as he can these last few games to build up his at-bats.
Pirates will have a built-in off day and travel to Montreal on Thursday, so number 22 will get some time if he wants it. And the added benefit of being down here is that you do have Pirate City, where you can, in minor league games. Hi, Joe. Hey. Some of our camera folks working here on a nice warm night. But yeah, on that minor league side, you can get all the action you want. In fact, tonight's starter, Ivan Nova, is going to stay down here in Florida. He's not going to join the team up in the Northeast. He'll report for opening day in Pittsburgh. That way he can make his start, I believe, on April 2nd, if I have my math right. That would be the day before the opening game in Boston. Well, there's a right fielder of the past and now of the present out there in right. A little higher, and he would add a souvenir for that fan. With 2 gone. Oh, look at our day automotive. Great day from last season. I think this was my favorite game from last year. Right after the All-Star break, Starling Marte, that home run in the 18th, the little Nick Golnoski, Ellicott City, Maryland, and his family. Oh, man, remember that? Not only the home run, Pirates ended up winning that game because of it, but that little guy just captivated us all throughout the later innings and then extra innings. 4 years old, and his folks and his little sister 2 years old, but he was there at the game. 6-hour game, and his folks were able to entertain a 4-year-old for 6 hours.
Well, he was into the game. I mean, there was a lot of shots we had of him where, I mean, he was, you know, living and dying with each out there for a while. I mean, it's kind of neat seeing a youngster at that age already, you know, displaying passion for, you know, who's winning this game.
I love it. Yes, folks, Jay and Annie, kudos to them. Parents of the year for managing that.
You can see Pirates were losing. He did not like it.
And they stuck around the whole time so that he could see it. I hope he remembers it. I think he's probably old enough to probably remember it. If not, we got it on tape for him. Hey, YouTube it. We'll not have to remember anything anymore. We just go back and YouTube it. On the ground to Gonzalez. 1-2-3 inning. That's the first time tonight Phil Hughes has had a clean one. Pirates maintaining their lead. We got the 7th inning coming up for you. Pirates with that 4-1 lead. Here in Florida, the days are dwindling before the regular campaign begins. Tyler Webb back out for a 2nd inning of relief. And we are joined by Pirates bench coach Tom Prince. Thanks for coming on in game with us.
No problem. Enjoying it.
Yeah, you know, under the lights, opening day is a week away. A little extra maybe energy here tonight.
Now they came out swinging the bats, that's for sure. Pitching's been pretty good.
How are you liking the new position?
It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. The time, people teaching. The players have been unbelievable with the energy they bring every day. The drill work's been very good and kind of settling in.
Any surprises that you could tell us about already? Just, I know it's just spring training, but you know, being a bench coach, it's kind of like you know, it's the right-hand man there of the manager. Is it how you thought it would be?
It's a little different, you know, the amount of time spent, and it's all warranted and stuff. The way that Clint looks at things is not what you do in the minor leagues. It's totally different up here in that aspect. So trying to learn that curve a little bit, and Jowsey's been unbelievable.
As far as you're analyzing the performances in spring training, is that what the difference is? That you're not looking for prospects, you're looking for performance now?
Well, just how they compete, how they go about it. When you don't get tricked by the numbers in spring training as well as you know. See who they're facing, and who the pitchers are facing.
A lot of times, well, today, in fact, I've been talking about you guys have certain goals, something you want to see out of a player. Like we talked a little bit about Hansen, about his concentration over the years has kind of lapsed every now and then. It's held him back. He's a guy with all kinds of great physical skills. And it's not necessarily his stat sheet that's going to impress you guys. It's the mental mistakes. Is he making progress in that? And that's sort of what you're talking about?
Correct. I mean, he's a perfect example. He's showing up every play. You watch him in the outfield here. He's getting on base. He's getting the stolen base jumps. They've been decent jumps. They made a good throw and a 1-3 to the plate. I mean, there's not much you can do in that, but he did get a decent jump.
Yeah, that was a great defensive work there by the catcher. I definitely have to agree with you on that one. But I've always thought that fans and us announcers, we sometimes get too carried away with the great numbers that some of these guys will put up down here in the month of March, and then we're left scratching our heads a little bit about the decisions that are made. But it's not about the numbers.
Well, as Walker, you know as much as anybody. You taught me as much as anybody did in the game of baseball, and there's that thing called white line fever. When the bell rings, it's different.
Well, what's a head-scratching moment that maybe Bob had during his pitching career? You've caught him a few times.
No, there was never any head-scratching moments. I mean, it was a lot of fun. Trust me. There were some things we did. Going back to Montreal, we've already been talking about the chickens, Walkie.
Oh, you got to fill us in now.
Yeah, okay. Well, I've talked about the chickens quite a bit. Well,
I'm new, right?
We'll get it. Well, I wanted to see how many chickens they'd put up on the scoreboard. It takes a while to get into that one.
Okay,
it's a long story.
No, it's not a two-out story. You're exonerated for once. All right.
But Tommy was a catcher that you know, he was always trying to think ahead and thinking outside the box a little bit, coming up with different things for me. I remember one of the things, it was in Atlanta. I don't know if you remember this, Tommy, or not, but there was a bunt situation, and you came out and asked me if to throw a changeup to the guy that was trying to sacrifice bunt. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
You had a good thought, I thought, behind it, and talked me into it. I agreed. I said, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Ended up being a perfect bunt, didn't it?
Well, what Tommy wanted to do was throw him a changeup to where he would bunt it real soft, and it would just be laying in front of the plate, pick it up, throw the guy out at second base. It didn't work out that way.
No, it did not.
But I mean, that's the kind of things that I remember you for, is you weren't, you know, satisfied with you know, just letting somebody have that sacrifice bunt. You wanted to try something new, and of course, with me, you saw an easy target.
No, I tell you what, the game of baseball has changed a little bit. I mean, you're looking at three guys on the left side of the diamond. We've never seen that very much.
Not with a right-hand hitter up, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, the status quo of the game has changed, and if you're not willing to change a little bit with it, it's going to pass you by. That's the way we look at it. And this organization development side, they're not afraid to do a lot of that stuff. We have a lot of stuff going on like that, and continue to do so.
The analytics have really made a big difference in the game, haven't they?
They have. And again, you take them with a grain of salt. You see what you can use and see what's not available for you, and you constantly evaluate these things.
Well, Tom, I'm sorry we had such a quick inning, but thanks for joining us here in the seventh.
Well, I appreciate it. It was good for me.
All right, Tom Prince.
Thanks, guys.
Pirates bench coach. Yeah, the Pirates still holding on that 4-1 lead. We got to thank Tom Prince, Pirates bench coach, as we get to know him. Oh, Red Sox. You're here a little early. Yeah, tomorrow's game might have on a Twin shirt. No, she's just here for the baseball. That's what's fun about spring training. You can see all sorts of teams in all the different ballparks.
Cute as a button. She can wear whatever she wants. That's root for the Red Sox. That's fine.
And the littler ones got her bottle and settling in for the night here. Lights are starting to take effect here.
Yeah, now we're getting the feel of a night game. Sun finally disappeared.
Those eyes will be closing any time now. Phil Goslin in the ball game, and a quick out. Phil Hughes went 6 tonight. Michael Tonkin now aboard for the Twins.
Hughes did a nice job of regrouping there after that first inning, didn't he? He was throwing a little batting practice early on. Balls flying all over the place.
Yeah, 3 batters in, 3 runs across. Well, he'll be the 4th starter for the Twins, so kind of a tune-up for him. Put some new spark plugs in after that, and he's ready to go.
They'll have a little cool weather, I would think. First homestand of the year.
Yeah, outdoor stadium in Minnesota. And the Pirates salute members of our military with a military ticket discount. It's presented by IC Light. All active duty, reserve, veteran, and retired service members and their families save $10 on select Sunday through Thursday home games at PNC Park. For more info, go to pirates.com/military.
The guy we've been talking about, Alan Hansen. We will find out his future sooner than later.
Well, decisions have to be made just prior to opening day, and Neil Huntington was saying that may be when the Pirates announce him. But like you said, you know, who knows exactly when those decisions will be made, if they haven't already been made. Maybe there is still time to state a case for a couple of these guys. Hansen tonight, base hit, but was caught stealing. And we'll be aboard again.
I was glad that Tommy Prince made that point about what a great job the catcher made, you know, by getting him there with a 1-3 down to second base. I mean, that's impressive. And sometimes, you know, it's not that the guy got a bad jump or it was anything he did. If the pitcher, you know, gets the ball home quickly and then the catcher comes up with a quick and very accurate throw as that was, it doesn't matter. I mean, Marte's going to get thrown out at times like that.
You say 1-3, 1.3 seconds?
The key for Hansen now is to not let that bother his concentration.
Hey, a perfect throw is always going to get you, unless you get a just wild jump.
That's a good jump.
Well, and then he put on the brakes. He's stuck.
He's trying to be like Jay Hay now.
Stuck in a pickle. And Matt Haig ends up tagging him out. So he's been on base a couple of times, but he's been thrown out a couple of times. Some early offense. Home runs by Frazier and McCutchen. Pirates still have the lead. 8th inning. Tyler Webb back out after 2 sparkling perfect innings. 3 strikeouts. Final week of spring training. Trying to crack a big league roster for the first time. And some base running miscues by Hansen tonight, but he's gotten on base a couple of times.
Yeah, that one you can put on him. Not the first one, but that one.
First one, I beg your pardon. Yeah, that was just caught stealing.
He was way too anxious.
And Tom Prince talking about him a moment ago. And past Frazier and Benji Gonzalez, who played more games for the Bradenton Marauders. So I beg your pardon, that's Reginato in the game now. I had this note all night and I never got to use it. Rats.
Go ahead, use it.
Twins made all the changes. Well, Benji Gonzalez, who's not in the game anymore, played more games for the Bradenton Marauders than anybody else so far.
He was in the game, so it still applies.
I'm wearing egg on my face. I forgot that the Twins changed 7 of their 9 guys. Spring training, that'll be done pretty soon, right? Late inning.
Yeah,
changes.
I won't be sorry to see that go. I like to see when the game is played like normal, where the regulars are out there. You make moves for reasons.
Closers come in the 9th and not the 5th.
Yeah, I would much rather see that type of baseball than what we watch down here. I guess if you watch down here with the right attitude, like you're trying to evaluate this guy or that guy, it's okay.
And I think for the Pirates' purposes, because of the World Baseball Classic, we've been able to see as Webb registers another strikeout.
Yeah, we've seen a ton of at-bats and innings pitched by the younger guys that are trying to crack the roster for the first time.
And you're not going to have 25 players for the year. You're going to have 40, 50, even more than that, guys that you're going to use over the course of the year. So, who are going to be those guys that may play an important role if there's an injury or underperformance, and there's usually some of both throughout a season. So I think the Pirates have some better depth than they did last year. This is an interesting case with Tyler Webb. To explain the Rule 5 pick again, the Pirates have to keep him the whole year, and Clint Hurdle will have to make a decision with the rest of the Pirates brass. Are we going to keep him the entire year? You cannot send him down. And sometimes a guy can, if he gets hurt, he can spend some time on the DL, but at least half the year he has to be active. You have to make a commitment to that player, and with 7 bullpen spots, you basically got to say, we think he can be good all year. Pitching like it tonight.
I think that's the one spot where a good team can carry somebody, is that back into the bullpen, because a lot of times that guy, can go out there in those roles where somebody's ahead or behind by 4 runs. It's not really a pressure type situation, and go out there and can contribute.
Does he have a double play ball? He does. Tyler Webb faces the minimum over 3 strong shutout innings.
of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on more than 400 supported devices, and you get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV if you want all the details. And why wouldn't you? You probably already have it. But if you don't, get it. Jacob Stallings playing in front of Dad tonight. He's got a couple of hits.
2 knocks. And the 1 out that he made, got a fly ball that just got out off the end of his bat a little bit. That would have been interesting if he would have been able to catch that one just down the bat a little more. He would have probably drove that one into the gap for extra bases.
Now, his first big league hit came last June 21st. Dad was there for that too. RBI double off Johnny Cueto. Here's Jason Rogers pinch hitting. Batting for Tyler Webb, who really, if he's still in the Pirates' possible plans, he made a nice showing tonight.
Rogers had a nice at bat yesterday in Clearwater. He ended it with just a bullet down the left field line for extra bases.
He's interesting. He kind of had his place taken, at least while he was hurt, by Jose Osuna, who has captivated the interests of fans for sure, and the Pirates. Kind of plays the same positions. And so now after having a rolled ankle after stepping on a baseball back on March 1st, of all things, you know, you're trying to make a ball club and you're laid up for 2.5 weeks. Now he's back and going to try to impress.
Nice. A couple years ago, looked great as a Brewer.
And Rogers,
rougher year last year, though.
Yeah. Down up for the first out. So Rogers and Rogers. Our McDonald's player of the game, Adam Frazier, 2 RBIs tonight. A pair of hits, has that average back up over 400, where it is sat for just about the entire exhibition season. He can just really hit. Righties, lefties, 2 strikes on him. Hard throwers.
Might hit with 2 strikes better than any other count. And we might find out. There's 1 strike.
Well, he's not afraid to get there.
Talking to himself now after that swing at that bad breaking ball.
Hit .320 last year with 2 strikes on him, which was the best in baseball. Highest batting average. And he'll have another chance here. And then he hit over 400 against lefties, which has been the case throughout his entire professional career. So that's not an aberration. I mean, he's truly a guy that can just hit. And is showing here in spring that he can play all over the diamond better and better. How did he lay off that?
I used to wonder that as a pitcher. And then one day I heard a couple hitters talking.
And the rare strikeout by Frazier.
And they were talking about how they froze up on a pitch and they were lucky that it was just off the plate, that it was called a ball. And then it dawned on me, every time somebody takes one just a little bit off the plate doesn't mean that, oh, well, they saw that and they were able to lay off it. It might mean that, wow, you had them. They couldn't do anything. If they froze, they just got the call. So that sometimes is the case, that it's not that the hitter did a great job eyeballing a certain pitch. It's that he got lucky.
When did you realize, at what point in your career?
This just before I retired. They retired me.
He had to use smart pitching at that point. Nice sky out to English. And the leadoff single stalls, but still 4-1 Buccos. McDonald's, the Pirates hosting the Red Sox. Drew Hutchison will start as he continues to make his case to be the 5th starter. Our coverage starts at 5:30 with Pirates pregame right here on Root Sports. A preview of the matchup of opening day a week from today. And it will be the penultimate game here in Florida. Second to last. I learned that word and I use it all the time. It makes me sound SMRT smart. Buddy Borden.
The 76 innings last year. Opponent batting average at 298. That's not a number that he will like to see again this season. He'll try and get this save.
7th round pick out of UNLV 4 years ago. Vegas native. How about the Raiders moving to Vegas, huh?
How about that?
I was thinking about it today. The city of St. Louis is going to have as many, the top 4 pro teams as Vegas. That's weird. I mean, with hockey coming into Vegas next year. So think of a traditional city like St. Louis and a new up and coming newfangled town.
Yeah, but they've had the 3 with the Running Rebels, right? 3.
Oh, that's right. That was the old joke with. That's really good. The Tarkanian days. I digress. Mr. Borden trying to milk a clean inning here and get the Pirates home victors. They've won 18 games already this spring training, one of their best ever since they came over here. Most ever is 19 since they've been playing here in 1969. So what's it mean? Well, not a lot other than that's nice. But it makes you feel good, I guess, if you're into that stuff. That's a nice curveball.
Able to bring that curveball in. Just far enough to catch the top of that strike zone.
Well, the only saves that Borden earned last year came with the Montgomery Biscuits. A lot of dairy themes going on with Borden here.
The biscuits.
The butter pat tongue. They have a mascot called Big Mo, and he has a butter pat for a tongue. It's a big like anteater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minor league team names.
Well, that one I like a lot, the biscuits.
Pitched there last year. in part.
You know, instead of a Gatorade or the pie in the face, they pour gravy on each other at the end of the game.
Hopefully it's cooled down a bit.
Sausage gravy.
Yeah. Cool down just a bit. You might be onto something. It's kind of like if you get, growing up watching Nickelodeon, they would slime you. You can't do that on television. Maybe kind of a white
sausage
gravy.
Yeah.
That's big down in the south, right? Southeast, Montgomery. I like it. Sano, I should say, draws a walk after homering earlier tonight. He's 1 for 3. Dan Rolfing doing the catching will get an at bat. Now the Pirates will sometimes use the guys over for minor league camp to fill in a spot here. Sano's day is done. Edgar Corsino will pinch run. And getting to that point where the minor league guys will go to their respective cities, whether if you're in the Tampa Bay system, you go to Montgomery or whatever. But some guys will stay here, play in Bradenton, Altoona and Indy, other popular destinations. That's where guys want to go.
Yeah, those are the popular destinations.
If you know you're going to be assigned to minor league camp, that's where you want to go. And they're playing down the way in Pirate City. Got some camp games tomorrow where they'll play against each other, but they play against some of the other minor league outfits. And try to, you're assigned to a group, but you could still be assigned to the team higher than the group that you're in necessarily. If you're in the AA group, maybe you still can make AAA, so you try to impress. So there's spring training for the minor leaguers over there as well.
Borden throwing a couple nice breaking balls. Yeah, that one he kind of hung a little bit. And it didn't seem to break an awful lot either. Maybe got away with one.
He's trying to earn the save here tonight.
Oh, he would love to get this third out and start shaking hands. Yeah, he went.
He's got number 2, a couple of strikeouts for Buddy Borden.
That's a nice way to get a save, too. You get a couple Ks. A fastball. It looked like it had a little cut action to it. Just kept moving away a little.
And now he'll face the hit collector, Matt Haig, to try to keep the game going for the Twins. Hit 3 doubles in a game here earlier this spring. Big night early. A couple of home runs. Andrew McCutchen getting a 2-run shot in the first. Getting that extended work in right field tonight, getting those innings in there.
The time of spring training, you like to do it too, the night game, because it's kind of a little cooler. You're going to be out there for 9 innings. It's nice to do it under the lights.
Adam Frazier drove in 2 tonight, and now
that fastball, it really looks like it's got good cut action to it. It's like a slider. That's what he got on the check swing strikeout. Watch Haig, who's a pretty good hitter, chase that one down and away.
Borden a strike away from securing the victory. 2-2. And Haig is going to find his way on again.
All the guys were over on the wrong side of the infield that time.
Now you know why he's earned that nickname. There's
that a ball that he swung and missed, that's cutting down and away from him, and the whole right side is wide open. He just kind of like playing pepper, just poked it through there to bring the tying run to the plate. Yeah, really, it's a very smart hitting. I mean, why not just go for that little single and get the tying run up there? He could hit a home run at that point. It really wouldn't have made much of a difference.
Well, Borden showing potential to be a closer, right? Let's have a 3-run lead and bring the tying run up, right? Make the
I see what you mean.
Strike out a couple of guys.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Get your heart rate going.
That's what they do. A flair for the drama.
A little bit of everything.
You know, but that one right there, that's nothing he could do with that at all. He made a real strong pitch, and it was just a case of Haig beating the shift and going the other way with a ball that really he should have been going the other way with it. Ball down and away.
Now the former #1 pick, Nick Gordon, younger brother of D. 5th overall pick in the nation 3 years ago. Not a big home run hitter. He's hit 5 in his 3 pro seasons.
Oh, nice pitch there. Didn't get called. Now that one didn't look like it had that cut action on it. I think if that one had cut a little bit, it would have came back in and definitely been called a strike, because it looked like it was sitting right on the corner.
And Borden again a strike away. Well, these two probably faced each other in the Florida State League last year. One-two pitch.
93 tuned it up a little bit there. That's his best fastball velocity-wise. Trying to finish it with a nice high hard fastball.
In on the hands.
Shaking off, no.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been being told to shake.
And he struck him out.
94. He had a little bit more. Nice job. Dropped the axe right on him.
Buddy Borden with 3 strikeouts. He'll preserve it for the Buccos, who win their 19th game here in the Grapefruit League.
Now, it was a nice game. Everybody that, you know, the regulars look like they're in midseason form. You got Kutch hitting a home run. Frazier, a big game with the bat again. And then, you know, Nova. I mean, how good did he look? Just throwing strikes, rock solid. Nice little tune-up.
Yeah, the Pirates, who are now 7 days away from the opener, win it again tonight. Strong play in spring training continues. And we'll be back at action again tomorrow night. Join us on Root Sports 5:30 for pregame. 6 o'clock first pitch here from Lecom Park. Thanks to our entire crew, for Robbie Inspakowski and for Bobby Walk. Joe Block signing off here tonight from Bradenton.